Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp and Chance. I'm your host, Bobby Sampson, and joined with me, as always, is my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Chance, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. It's hot out here, 32 degrees, but I love it. It's only a little bit of good weather to go, so I got to take it while I can.
Yeah, I know. This weekend was kind of cold by what we've been getting out here, so I kind of felt that I didn't like it, and so I'm kind of happy it's hot again. I don't know, man. I always kind of was looking forward to the cold, but now it's just I feel like I don't want it to be cold anymore.
No, man, we got to hang on to summer while we can. It's almost over.
No, 100%. Well, I figure we got at least another 2, 3 weeks of nice weather before it starts to dip. So take advantage of it, everybody. But before we get into
Exactly.
anything else, everybody, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification button to let you know whenever we're on the air and we're releasing new content. Samp_Chance, that's our Instagram handle, because there you will find our bio tree. And with our bio tree, you'll be able to link onto everything or every site that we're connected to. So yes, please. Thank you for all the continued support. Thank you for all the love that we're getting from everybody, allowing us to do this. This is a passion. You
Yeah.
know, this is a lot of fun for us, and we're really privileged to have the opportunity to do this for you guys twice a week, if not more. That being said, here we are. A few sleeps away from Clash at the Castle, the big premium event coming out of the UK in Wales. 70,000 people strong, man. This is going to be a huge show. Between WrestleMania and this show coming up, it's been very successful for them. But before that, let's do a quick Raw review and let's see how they're kind of going home with this. So the
Yeah.
show starts off with the Judgment Day having a match against AJ Styles and Dolph Ziggler. Kind of interesting. No opening segment, nothing. Straight into a match. Kind of liked it. Kind of different. But here's the way I'm looking at it now. I mean, having seen what happened after the match, I almost feel that they didn't need that match. Does that
How
make
come?
sense? Well, Edge comes out, just before they go to commercial, after they win the match and what have you. You see the G Wagon pull up and you see Edge pull out, and he's making his way to the ring. And the Judgment Day, who's just won the match, is walking back, sees this on the screen, and decides to go back to the ring to confront Edge. Um, I don't know. I don't know if that match was needed to open the show.
I think they're maybe thinking to start off with a banger. The
Yeah,
big boys out there.
perhaps, and they had the good guys out there working. So I mean, I have nothing against the match. I thought the match was great.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was a really, really good match in terms of just everything, storytelling and movement and all. But just seeing Edge come out and whatnot, I mean, it felt overextended. Judgment Day was out there longer than they needed to be. That's where I think I'm going with it. Because Beth Phoenix didn't show up either, and it was just kind of, I would love to have seen them build the story from that perspective. Basically, what happened is, guys, is very simple. Edge comes out, he's talking, and the Mysterios attack them from behind with kendo sticks, and send them running for the hills. That basically sets up the match. Edge and
Ray.
Ray against Judgment Day. It's a tag team match,
It's
really.
gonna be a good match.
Yeah, so no Beth Phoenix, no Rhea Ripley are in this match, but
I'm fine with that.
well, I think you know what? I think you're going to see a turn here at Clash at the Castle. I think you'll possibly see Ray turning on them now, and this is where he makes his move and he joins the Judgment Day.
You think Ray's gonna
Um,
join him?
I'm sorry, Dominic.
Dominic,
Dominic
yeah, Dominic,
Dominic
yeah.
will. So that's kind of where I'm seeing that all kind of going.
We're
And
gonna see father versus son sooner than later.
well, I'm going to talk about that as we predict our make our predictions here.
Okay.
I kind of jumped the gun here a little bit. Um, Basically after that, you had a match with Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss. They basically just took on three local indie wrestlers from Pittsburgh and kind of squashed them. Kind of, I guess, an opportunity to build their chemistry, kind of show the fans what they're capable of and what have you. First time all three have kind of worked together in a tag team. So, going into Clash to the Castle against Bailey, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai, it's a nice little warm up match. Um, Angle's here. Angle's in Pittsburgh. He's from Pittsburgh, so he comes out and he does his little thing with the Alpha Academy. They come out and they want to make him an honorary member to which he refuses, and that basically turns into a match with the Street Profits because they were about to attack Angle. Street Profits beat them at the end of the match. They take a sip from the red cup. He spits it out because it's alcohol. And conveniently enough, he has a cooler with milk, and they start doing, milk stuff
The
and
milk gimmick, yeah.
the milk gimmick. It was a lot of fun.
It's
A
fun.
little bit more there. Kurt Angle, where are
One
we
of the
here?
greatest in-ring workers of all time, by the way.
Kurt Angle?
Amazing.
Well, he picked it up really fast too.
Oh, he's a natural.
Right? He picked everything up really fast, considering he, didn't really have any training per se. A lot of his training came on the job.
Yeah. He's got to be a top 10 in-ring guy of all time. Like, just his in-ring work is unreal.
He was a true technician, man.
Yeah.
I think he incorporated amateur wrestling. I think he's one of the first guys. You have Dr. David Schultz and all those guys as well who kind of did it. But in terms of just, technical wrestling and amateur wrestling, and,
I know this is going to sound blasphemous
incorporated.
and a lot, and probably 80% of people won't agree with me, but I think Kurt Angle is a better technician than Bret Hart. He's just a little more athletic and he can do the moves just as good. That's my take. I know that sounds going to piss the Canadian fans off, but that's how I see it.
Not fair
And he's
enough,
better,
man.
and he's way better on the mic than Bret too.
Yeah, but I think Bret was in a time where mic work wasn't as important as in-ring work.
No, but they still had some good talkers back then.
Yeah, he had some good talkers, but I mean, they were by the handful. What were they? Dusty? Let's talk about that. 80s best talkers.
Well, I'm talking 90s Bret, but
yeah, I know. I was referring to
his best work was when he was the Canadian with coming out with the flag of the Hart Foundation in the mid to late 90s. But it's debatable. He's amazing. I'm not trying to knock Bret, but this is my take on that.
Yeah. Okay, well, after Angle, Corey Graves interviewed Matt Riddle, who got his first name back.
Finally.
Yeah, he's referred to as Matt Riddle again. The whole last name thing is over. And that also for Austin Theory. He got his name back too.
He's now Austin Theory.
So you're basically seeing the changes of the new regime happening more frequently. Guys are getting their names back. Mm-hmm. So that's another thing. Very interesting. I love this story, man. I can't wait for this match. I think this is going to be the match of the night. And I think you said that too last week.
I did, yeah. It was one I'm looking forward to the most.
I really am. I'm looking forward to this. This thing has been building before SummerSlam.
I hope Seth gets a win. He's been losing all the time to Cody and all these guys. I hope he goes over this time.
Yeah, so here's the thing. It's a hard one because I don't think either one would be hurt by defeat, but I think Matt would need it more. Only for the fact that he's been getting the better of by Seth Rollins a lot of this time in these segments.
But they keep using Seth as a guy who doesn't need to get over, put these guys over, but eventually he needs to get over. He's going to start diminishing his character. He's lost to Cody Rhodes 3 times in a row.
Well, I think things are going to change after Clash at the Castle. We'll get into that, man. Let's finish Raw here. I mean, we keep jumping the gun here. There's so much we have to talk about. Corey Graves does this interview with these guys. They're back and forth. These guys fought in the parking lot again.
Yeah, it was good.
Before the show even started. I think the line of that whole conversation was this, and it was delivered by Seth. And he said, let's talk about your family. Oh, wait, you don't have one because your wife divorced you and took the kids and left.
Wow.
Right? So it's stuff like this, that story building, and, all the stuff that he's saying, both guys have had to okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't know how much of it is a shoot because there is.
Is real divorced?
Well, there's real heat between the two of these guys in general.
I don't know if it exists. The best feuds, though, just like Sean and Bret. You get a little bit of heat.
Yeah, but I don't know how much of it exists now, but this is going back where these guys did not like each other at all. In fact, just something's happened with Seth Rollins' former girlfriend before he met Becky and they connected. So this is going a little ways back now.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Right? Yeah. So just something happened with his ex-girlfriend. Some comments were made and whatnot, and that just kind of set these guys off against each other in a sour way. And that was basically it. So I don't know how much of this is legit. Like it's a work, obviously, but how much of it is actually a shoot?
Yeah, I'm not sure on that.
And it's kind of, interesting story. Another sidebar, Matt Hardy on his podcast was talking about his and Edge's feud with the whole Lita thing. And basically before they were supposed to work together, Vince had brought them both in his office, sat them down on the couch in front of him and said, look, I know you guys got heat, but if you guys do anything stupid and actually throw real punches and whatnot, I will blackmail you from wrestling. Not from WWE. from
Good.
wrestling. He
And
goes,
Vince would have done it too.
well, that's the thing. If there's anyone who could have blackmailed anyone from the industry completely, it's him.
Yeah.
So that I throw that in there in
What's
terms
the
of,
story with that? Edge stole Matt's woman, pretty much.
more or less Edge was gone away and Lita was kind of, I don't know, looking for something, and I guess
Kind of like
Edge
the
was
Kurt
kind of
Angle, Jeff Jarrett thing.
Karen Angle, yeah, kind of, but that, they ended up marrying each other and shit, which is kind of
Jeff's
weird.
lucky that Kurt never got his hands on him, because Kurt would twist him like a pretzel, man, back in those
Yeah,
days for sure.
I think it worked out better for all parties in that situation.
No, I know,
I
but at the
mean,
time though, he's
at the
lucky Kurt
time, yeah,
didn't whoop his ass.
I think Angle has honor.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, and again, I might say something wrong here, but he's one of those kind of guys that doesn't put anything above any woman or relationship.
Mm.
In terms of doing something stupid, no one's
Yeah.
worth it, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, he's got a beautiful bride. They got their podcast, so it looks like everything worked out for everybody. Finally, we're almost done with Raw here. Interesting Raw. I had no problems with it. Bobby Lashley defeats The Miz to retain the US title after he got spooked. The Miz, that is, got spooked again by seeing Dexter Loomis in the stands. And we were talking about this. Nobody knows who these guys are. Man, you can't tell me this is not a beautiful way to bring in the character. They're doing a good job with him.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think Triple H is really trying to impress the IWC. That's for people to know what that stands for, the internet wrestling community, because they used to hate this guy, and now he's trying to kind of placate to them. So it's a smart play. Yeah, actually, that's not a bad feud going on.
No, it's interesting. I'm not talking about what the internet community cares about or whatnot. I'm just
No, I
talking
know, but
about
these are the
how
people that
they're.
Triple H is running the show towards, I find.
No, I disagree with that. But again, we'll talk about that a little bit
Mm-hmm.
later. Edge and Kurt Angle reunite backstage. This was kind of fun. Do you remember that segment way back when he was showing them all the pictures and he had all the writing on the back of the card like "You suck," you're a
Yeah,
dumb,
yeah,
blah
I
blah
remember
blah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, he did that again with him this time,
yeah, I seen that. That was good.
right? And in the first one, Kurt Angle flipped it over and there was no writing on it because he thought, "Oh, I'm not going to get duped again." But every card after that had something written on it. Pretty funny, enjoyable, cool
Yeah,
segment,
Kurt's
nostalgic,
always fun.
a lot of fun. Um, Kevin Owens comes out when so basically Kevin Owens defeats undisputed tag team champion Jey Uso. It was like an interesting segment here. Owens comes out. I don't know if he's a face or he's a heel. I don't know where Kevin Owens is right now in terms of what side of the fence he's on. But this
Not
is
sure.
second time in a week now he's come out and fought as the face.
Maybe
And
they're just feeling it out, see how the crowd reacts, see what
yeah,
fits.
no, 100%. Basically after that, we get a backstage segment again with Dexter Loomis and Miz. Miz is leaving the arena because he's scared and he wants to go home. And as he's driving away, the window opens in the back, and there's Dexter Loomis in the back seat, unbeknown to the Miz. So let's see where this goes. They do another segment with Gargano and Theory, and they basically just going back and forth with Theory telling him that I'm the youngest to wear this, and all the things that you want to accomplish. Isn't it interesting? I've already done it first.
Yeah,
Tells him to kind of stay, be worried and watch yourself, sort of a deal. So bit of a story over there. The shocker of the night came in the main event. In the main event of the finals of the women's tag team titles match. I really thought that Io Sky and Dakota Kai would have walked out of this going into Clash at the Castle, but it didn't turn out that way. You basically end up with Raquel Gonzalez or Rodriguez and Aaliyah defeating them, with Aaliyah getting the pin. Very interesting.
yeah, it was an interesting way to finish it up.
Well, it's interesting because on SmackDown before this, on the Friday, Aaliyah got hurt. She was basically just erased from the match, and Raquel basically did all the work, and she kind of just showed up again at the end of the match just to kind of join in the victory dance. This time it looked like the same thing was going to happen again. Raquel basically worked a lot of this match on her own, and but this time around it was Aaliyah who kind of came back at the last minute to get the pin, and there you are, your new women tag team champions, Raquel and Aaliyah.
Not a bad Raw. It was decent overall. Not bad.
Yeah, no, speaking of that, let's talk about very quickly what the numbers were last night. I have them right
Yeah, let's
here.
hear
If
it.
you can just give me a
I
quick.
like to hear these because I want to see what they're going to be when Monday Night Football starts. We'll start comparing that.
Yeah, yeah, no, 100%. So last night, Monday's Night Raw brought us a 0.59 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic and a 2.1 million viewers total.
Good
That,
numbers.
yeah, those numbers are up 7.3% and 5.1% respectively on the two numbers that I just gave you.
Good.
Basically, they're doing great, man. This is the highest numbers they've had in 4 weeks, and every week it's getting better and better. The numbers are, anyways. Raw ranked number one among cable originals for the night, as per Showbuzz Daily. Thank you for that information. And number two for all broadcast shows, behind only The Bachelorette. I don't know. I don't watch The
I'm
Bachelor.
going to make a prediction. I think when Monday Night Football starts, we'll see, million seven, million eight, million between 1,000,005 and 1,000,008 because Monday Night Football is a huge chunk of that.
No, 100%. I think so. No,
So
but it also depends on what they're giving us for Monday Night Football too, right?
yeah,
I
yeah, it's
think
gonna be fun to
Sunday,
see.
yeah, it's going to be an interesting football season. So that was basically Raw's ratings for last week. Um, Clash at the Castle, man. Here we go. We're there. We're a few days away. Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns for both titles.
I
What do you?
hope Roman wins, man. I don't want Drew. I don't see Drew as a champ just because I don't think he's that good on the stick. That's
I
my
want.
take.
Okay, so you're predicting Roman will win.
I'm not saying that's going to happen. If I was booking Roman will win, but I think Roman's going to keep it. Yeah, that's my prediction. What are you thinking?
Okay, I'm thinking Drew. I'm gonna go
You think
opposite
Drew?
on you. Absolutely. I think just based on the shakeups and all the things that are happening in the WWE, I think Drew McIntyre is going to win. That you got 70,000 people in Cardiff, Wales coming out for this, and most of these tickets are bought for. They're not handouts.
Yeah, not comped. Yeah,
They're not comps. These are legit fans buying tickets to come to this live event. WWE, I'm not saying they're pressured, but I think they're gonna have to do some special shit on this show because I think this is gonna be an annual event, not necessarily in Cardiff, but anywhere in Europe. I think you're gonna get
yeah,
one big, you know, premium stadium show that's gonna go down at least once a year in Europe, and you got to set it off right. I mean, think about it. How many people thought the British Bulldog would have beaten Bret Hart at Wembley Stadium at SummerSlam that year? Not many people gave it that, right?
yeah.
But
No, I wouldn't
having,
be surprised if Drew won. I just hope that Roman keeps it. I think I'm not shocked though if Drew takes it. He
well, no,
probably will.
I think he will, and I think from some of the reports that I've read and some of the things that I've seen, some people backstage seem to be interested on this idea. Roman's had both belts for 2 years,
Yeah, no, he's had his time. I totally
right?
agree.
He's had
I
his
just don't
time,
think
and
Drew's a champ
well,
myself.
I do. I think he deserves an opportunity to be a champ in front of the fans,
No, I
right?
get it in his home. I get it in the UK. I
No,
understand
no,
why they
just
would
in
do it.
general.
I just don't
Just
think
in
he's a
general.
champ.
Well, I think he is. I think he did a really good job when there were no fans around, and that's really hard to do.
No, he's a good worker. I just don't think he's a top dog champ. That's just my take, right? I think
Who
Seth would
who
be a
would
better
be?
champ.
Yeah,
But so many guys over him.
but that's the thing. I mean, outside of Seth Rollins, who else?
Outside of Seth, I would rather have even give Theory the chance. He's young. I mean, Drew's almost 40. He's getting his chance
No.
now. I mean, got
Yeah,
the
well,
young
you know
guys
what?
on it.
No, I agree with you, but I still think he's still a part of that young generation where I think
Even Riddle,
people
I'd
want.
even give it to Riddle over Drew.
Not yet. I think Theory's not ready for it. I don't think Riddle's ready for it yet. Maybe a one shot like a Randy Orton when he was at that age with those guys. Like I mean, he did win the title when he was about Riddle and Theory's age the first time,
And
right?
Theory's not even on this card, so who's to say he doesn't come out and cash that money in the bank here?
Well, maybe he will. Like I said, there's so many possibilities with the show. I mean, it could all be a work, and Roman works out with both. But I also understand there's talk about them splitting up the belts again because USA Network is putting pressure on the WWE.
Speaking of the USA Network, and I love to say this, and I still think he's got the best wrestling product besides ours.
Okay,
I
I
think
have
he's
it
got the.
on the list. I have it on the list. We'll
You
get
got
there.
that? Okay, we'll get
I
to
have
that.
it on the list. I know exactly where you're going with this,
Okay.
and I thought of you exclusively because you're a big fan.
Yeah.
But Cash at the Castle, back to that. Like I said, there could be swerves and turns and all of
Yeah. Oh
this,
yeah.
right? I mean, you could end up with both guys walking out with a belt each, even.
Could be.
right? It could be very possible that Paul Heyman wrote something in the contract that it's only for the WWE title and not the Universal title.
Yeah.
And that's why he's only awarded that title. But that has to come out before the match happens, right?
What time is the show coming on here on Saturday?
Okay, so if you're in the West Coast, it's at 10 a.m. If you're in the East, it's 1 p.m.
I don't mind that, a morning show on Saturday. Maybe some college football on, but you can, do that later. So I
No,
don't
man,
mind.
it's a perfect opportunity to make myself a proper British breakfast, have some sausages, bacon, hash browns, fried tomatoes, and
Bangers and
mushrooms.
mash.
No, that's lunch, man. I'm talking I'm talking French fries and baked beans, eggs, sausage,
Yeah.
bacon, fried tomatoes and mushrooms, and some toast.
Doesn't sound bad at all.
No, man, and a big cup of coffee. I'll probably just have a bagel with cream cheese and some fruit, to be honest. But that's what I'd like to
Whatever
eat
the
if I
craving
could.
is that morning, yeah.
Well, bagel and fruit. I've been kind of doing that last little while. But yeah.
Like
What
I
else do we
said, I
got there?
want Roman to win, but I agree with you. It probably will be Drew, and I don't blame them. It's been 2 years. You got to shake it up. I get it. I just hope Roman keeps it for my own personal bias, I guess.
Well, look, I think what you're going to see here is because, well, if Roman drops the titles, what about him and The Rock, right? Like,
At WrestleMania.
but here's the deal. I don't think Roman needs a title to fight The Rock at WrestleMania.
No, they could just do a family feud thing.
That would still go on last night too. That would end WrestleMania.
Well, I don't think you want
Weekend.
Roman having the belt against The Rock because there's no way The Rock's going to win and get the belt. So you don't want that.
Yeah, but here's how I'm looking at it. So again, my mind just, fantasy booking here. Say Heyman puts in that clause, right?
Mm-hmm.
As the storyline says that Heyman put in a clause because we haven't seen him for a while either since he got F5 or
Yep.
smashed, right? So say that clause does exist. So you now basically have two champions on both brands. So Roman's still your universal champion, right? And you got Drew working the other side. Now that opens the door for Theory. That opens the door for Seth. That opens the door for Riddle. That opens the door for everyone on that show. You got your champion back. USA Network wants them to have a full-time champion again.
Yep.
They're getting the heat from not the heat, but that's something they want.
The pressure's on. Yeah.
The pressure's on. They want them to have their own champion. There's nothing against Bobby Lashley in the US title. But you know what? Roman has not shown up on the red brand enough as a champion to warrant, to make them feel like, hey, what kind of show is this if you don't have your champion here?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with him on that, 100%.
Right. So I think, you might see something like that, which will open up everything again for all these other superstars to come, right?
Yeah.
What could possibly happen is Rock, again, being Rock, shows up and has a match against Drew or something at Royal Rumble, wins the title, and basically you have Rock versus Roman somehow.
That could be. It's not a bad way to do it.
But now I'm thinking the other side, well, what about the guy who wins the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, it's hard. Look, there's a lot of ways they can go.
So if
the only thing is when's the last time you seen The Rock wrestle? John Cena? How many? Like 7, 8 years ago?
No. Well,
his last official match. Yeah.
I guess technically it would have been the second one, right? Where he lost
and
the
he
title
didn't look
to
very good. He was winded. He could barely move.
Well,
How's he
no,
going to
he
be
was
now?
he was broken, man. He hurt his ribs really bad in that match.
No,
That's
I know.
why.
No, I get it. Don't get me wrong. Physique wise, he looks great. But the guy's in his early 50s. He's a steroid abuser. How well is he going to be able to move around in that ring?
I don't know, man. Maybe he'll have to start trading, and if the match is serious, if he gets
It's going to be a great story. He's an amazing talker. All that build will be great. Don't get me wrong.
No, I think this is where Roman will have to carry him.
Unless he did like a Stone Cold kind of thing, just have a street fight.
I don't know. It's hard to call it right now because now you think about it. If Roman is champion of both belts, then how would that work with The Rock coming in to fight him at WrestleMania? You know what I mean?
Something's got to give.
So something has to give here. So I think basically what you're going to see both belts get stripped here somehow. And I think Drew will be the champion on Raw, which will make him the top baby face that they don't currently have in the company, in my opinion. I think the whole European experience will help build that. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm kind of sitting at that with that match right now. I think Drew will win. I don't know if he'll win both, but I think he's going to walk away with at least one of those belts. Could be wrong. Could be wrong.
It could be.
right? Could be wrong. Another possibility could be that that Bray Wyatt makes his return
What comes out in the match?
and costs Roman the title the way he cost him the title,
Yeah, that could be.
right?
So many ways it can happen. Theory can come out. Who knows?
And Karrion Cross is still a part of this picture somehow.
Yeah.
So where does he fit in? Like, is he going to cost Roman one of the title? Like, there's so many ways to go with this. And you can't forget that Drew got a clean pin on Brock Lesnar,
He did.
something that Roman hasn't done currently in a bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to do this. Something's going to happen that we're not thinking about right now. Something's going to go down here. It's just not going to be an easy win for Roman. Something's going to happen.
Something has to give, right? A little bit. So we got that. Okay, so Shayna Baszler versus Liv Morgan for the women's title, the SmackDown women's title.
What do you got?
I'm kind of interested. I don't know who I got. That's the thing. I think Liv should retain because they want to build that feud up with her and Ronda Rousey again. But
That
here's
could
my
be.
thinking. But here's what I'm thinking right now. Again, I'm thinking Shayna beats her. No, I think Liv wins somehow, right? And to be honest, man, she's going up against these monsters, and she's this frail little girl with her arm broken and whatnot. Yet she still seems to overcome. I think the one issue I think a lot of fans are having with Liv Morgan is the fact that she tapped and still won, which is technically a heel kind of situation, but she's playing it off like it's no thing. So, it kind of diminishes her as a champion, in my opinion, a little bit,
No, fair enough.
right? But having her go up against monster like Shayna Baszler, who's probably even tougher than Ronda Rousey in a lot of ways,
In some ways, yeah.
in some ways, right?
Mhm.
So somehow she's going to squeak out a win, and Ronda's going to come down and start beating the shit out of Liv. I don't know if Shayna's going to jump in because I almost feel that's another program waiting to happen: Shayna versus Ronda.
That'd be fun. I like to
Right.
see that.
So if Shayna wins, because I think she's due. It's just one woman in the industry, one woman in the company who deserves her title now,
What a better time to give it to her there in Wales.
right? And have Ronda come out and attack her, and you have a double turn,
Yeah, I'd be cool with that.
right? On the other side, my mind's just all I did at work today, man, while I was working. I just kept thinking of different scenarios.
It's
On
fun.
the
Fantasy booking's fun.
on the other side of that, pardon me, what if Liv wins? And then Ronda comes out and starts beating the tar out of Liv. And then all of a sudden, Charlotte comes and attacks Ronda because she's due back. Another double turn,
That'd be good. Cool too. That'd be a good swerve. Yeah.
right? So either way, you kind of got that as well. Let's talk about the ladies' match again. Bailey, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and versus Bailey, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss. They've built up this match really, really well. I almost have a sense and a feeling that Bailey and company are going to walk out of this.
I
And
think so.
then,
Yeah, it's gonna be a good six woman tag match. Yeah, I think you're right on that though.
yeah, I think it's
I
going to
think
be good.
Bailey's crew are gonna take it.
No, and I think after this match, you're going to see Alexa turn a little bit.
Yeah,
She
it'd be
quietly
nice.
been
It'd be
going around.
nice.
I think so. She's been talking about a new character. She's been talking about, wanting to start something new. And she's been kind of like in that wrestling purgatory, as I like to call it. You're there, but you're not there. You're just going with the punches and clapping when you're supposed to clap. It's kind of just your basic typical baby face. Like, what do you call
Yeah,
that? There's a word for it. I'm looking for it. It'll come to me eventually someday. What else do we have on this card? We've
we
talked
got the
about
bathroom break match coming up next.
which is what?
The Sheamus match.
Sheamus against Gunther. You know what? I think that's going to be a really good match. It's going to be hard hitting. It's going to be a lot of European style wrestling. It's going to be hard style, man. I don't know if that's the match team break or the match
I'm looking
bathroom
at the
break
card
match.
right now. It might not be a bad match, but it's probably one of the weaker matches, at least anticipated matches, I'd say.
Well, it's for the Intercontinental title, but you know what? Again, it's catered to the Europeans, right?
Yeah, no, I get it.
So I get you got Germany versus Ireland, and I think I personally think it's going to be. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
but
No, I
I
know.
think it's going to be a pretty solid match,
Oh,
and
it'll be stiff. Yeah, it's gonna be. I
it's
like
going to
that
be
style
very,
myself,
very
but
stiff. I think Gunther's going to walk out with it.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think he walks away with it. I think that Sheamus and company are kind of playing the babyface role in this a little bit. If it's any indication on what I was watching on SmackDown, that was a really good segment. Did you see that?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing with Reigns. Yeah, it was good.
That was really, really good, man. I really enjoyed that. The Butch and those guys were all fighting around them as they just stared at each other. I mean, it was basically a 2-on-1. That little
Yeah,
Kaiser guy's tough, man.
he is for little dude. Yeah,
He's a tough little fucker. What else have we got? What's the next match there? You got the
we got
list.
Edge and Ray.
Edge and Ray against Judgment Day. Um, I think Edge and Ray are gonna go over, but I think the story of the match is gonna be
Uh,
Junior turning on
I
his
think I
daddy.
think Junior's gonna turn and cost him the match.
Possibly, possibly.
We
I
got to see
think.
a father and son feud now, right?
Well, here's the thing: AEW beat them to it.
With who?
Billy Gunn and his son,
Oh, okay, yeah.
right? I thought because that's basically the first time father and son have ever fought against each other in wrestling, apparently.
What about Dusty and Dusty and Dustin? They didn't ever have a match.
I don't know if they had a dust up or not. I know they tag team together, but I don't think they ever worked against each other.
They never had a dust up, eh?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I remember Stardust running out on them and being disappointed. I think that's the closest, but I'm sure a father and son have fought somewhere. You know where we could
Somewhere.
probably find this out? It might have even happened in Canada, man. Uncontrolled Chaos coming out by Mr. Beefy Goodness himself. It's got all the history. So if it
Have you
happened,
got
it
your
might have
copy? Has your
happened.
copy came yet?
No, I haven't received it. Have you received
Me
yours?
either.
No. Well, I saw a post of him signing books, so I'm sure
It's
ours is
coming.
in that stack, and I can't wait to read that. That's going to be
Yeah, it
really.
looks like that's and he put a lot of hard work into that. So I can't
Oh,
wait
he
to have him
did
back to talk about that.
absolutely. What's next?
We got the granddaddy of them all, Riddle and Seth.
Sorry. Oh, Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins.
I
Oh,
want Seth to win. I think Seth takes it. He needs a win, man. He keeps losing to these guys. I
I
know he does.
think.
People say he doesn't need to go over, but eventually he needs to have a win.
Well, here's the thing. He keeps talking. As soon as I'm done with you, I'm going after the championship, right? So he's not allowing anyone to believe he's out of the picture. Um,
Good,
Seth
I like that.
Rollins, Seth has reached a level that I don't think a lot of people give him credit for right now.
I think he's the best overall talent WWE right now. I think all around for in ring, his character, the way I like all those crazy suits he's wearing, all those crazy
No, he's
coats.
done amazing work, and
Mm-hmm.
he's that next generation that's evolved himself from the
Mm-hmm.
half, dyed blonde head to whatnot and everything and in between, right? So he's done really, really well. I don't think he gets
Yes,
enough
he's
credit.
amazing talent.
Yeah, he doesn't get enough credit for what he does. I'll
No,
say it. I'll be honest. You know, um,
totally agree with that.
does he
Yeah,
does he deserve a victory? That's the thing. Everything we just said, he's reached that status where if he loses, it doesn't hurt him.
probably not. No, but eventually, if you want to get him back in the title mix, he's got to get a win over somebody.
I think that, but see, Brittle's been losing too.
Yeah.
You got two dudes keep losing.
The thing is, I don't know if wins and losses mean as much as they used to 10, 20 years ago. We got such a short attention span nowadays. We just care about a good match. Oh, you lost. You don't really. It doesn't really matter like it used to.
I think AEW puts a lot of focus on it because everyone's got a record.
Yeah, they keep the record, which I do like how they do that. Something different, like Dean Ambrose, 57-4 or something like that.
Yeah, and
So I
it's
like how they do the
legitimate.
records.
And it's legitimate. They're actual numbers. They're
Yeah,
actual
that's kind of cool.
legitimate stats, right? But on this one, man, I don't know. I mean,
This is
traditional
match tonight. It has to be.
traditional traditional wrestling booking tells me, based on everything that's happened to Matt Riddle at the hands of Seth Rollins, curb stomp on the thing,
Riddle's gonna
put
get
out
the
of
payout.
action.
Yeah,
You almost get the feeling he's going to get the payout. The other reason, back to that, the beating that Drew McIntyre took at SmackDown. You see his
they got
back?
him good.
They got him really good. Like some of that looked real. I don't know how much paint or makeup he can put on that, but I guess they can do a pretty good job with it. But he looked like they beat the shit out of him, which
He
leads
felt
me
that.
to
That's for sure.
ah, which leads me to believe that that's another indication to him kind of walking away with one of them at least.
Yeah, I can see Drew. Like, I want Roman to win, but I think Drew's going to walk out with the belts. New regime in charge, start a new era, start a new thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's in
I
Europe,
Yeah, yeah. I think Matt Riddle and Seth opened the show.
possibly. That'd be a hard. That would set the tone.
Well, that's what I'd want them to do. That would set the tone.
I hope
I
it's
think
not
that
Gunter and Sheamus. tell you that.
Gunther and Sheamus will probably be number 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Right? You got to get them early. Get them early. But it's at the
They're
card.
only having 6 matches on the card unless they announce another match at SmackDown. It's only 6 matches.
But then we only have 6 matches to work with. Then I don't have the list in front of me. I was kind of going off
I
memory
got the
here.
list right here. There's 6.
Yeah, so there's 6. So if there's anything pre-show, what have you, who knows? I think there are going to be a lot of surprises. I think this show's going to have a lot of twists and turns. It's going to be if it's only 6 matches, I think you're going to get 6 amazing matches.
Let's say 4 to 6 should be pretty damn good. Yeah.
Listen, yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, I know you're not hot on the Gunther famous fight, but
that's still a solid card. If you get 4 really good matches, I'll take that any day. Some cards don't even give you that.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think everybody's going to raise their game up a little bit just because they're in Europe. So
yeah. Hey, last week AEW Dynamite Mox beats your buddy CM Punk in
5
under
minutes.
3 minutes, under 5 minutes. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was 5, but maybe it was 3.
Between 3 and 5 minutes, let's say, right? Complete squash.
Good. He deserves
and it was
that.
a work.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the injury that Punk had was real, but him selling it the way he did there was all the work. I mean, it was meant to be 3 minutes. Thoughts?
Love it.
Your impression of Punk for doing it?
Him whining, crying on the internet. Everybody's done him wrong. I love it.
But he had to agree to it. So do you think do you have any respect for him for doing that to get him over?
Well, he did good. He's doing it like he didn't do what Bret Hart did. He didn't go into business for himself, or sometimes he does. So Tony probably told him, "Hey, this is what's happening. You're hurt, and go for it." And he did. He doesn't have a lot of choice either. But I didn't see that coming, though. I didn't see that coming. Did you?
Well, again, I'm kind of old. I'm old. I kind of look at the clock a lot when I watch wrestling to kind of get an idea of what's going on, and that was not the main event.
No.
And that not being the main event kind of, and looking at the time that match came on, it came on at the beginning of the second hour, which would have been, 6 o'clock here. So I'm looking at this and I'm watching it last week and I'm like, wait a minute, why is this match happening now? This should be the main event. This whole show should be built around that match. Your kind of quick promos, your segments, the highlight reels and everything. It just didn't feel like, it was going to be that. So when they came out, yeah, I was surprised, absolutely, but I wasn't surprised because it's just too early in the show for it.
Do you think they squashed him because he's really, really hurt, or they did it because of all the drama he's been causing with Paige and all that stuff?
He denies that. Everyone's denying it backstage. Even, CM Punk is saying, everyone wants to talk, and the beloved internet wrestling community, they're making up stories themselves. So again, I don't know how much of this is real or how much of it's to work, right?
True.
But
you never
at
know
the same
wrestling.
time, the same time, if everything that CM Punk is trying to do, what his mission statement is and whatnot, then he did the right thing. I'm not saying that John Moxley is the the youngster who deserves a chance. He's been champion in WWE. Some argue that he was a throwaway champion, just kind of waiting until the guy they wanted to become champion, peace champion. But I don't think WWE ever did him wrong. I don't think they disrespected him in any way.
He got paid millions of dollars to do a entertainment
but
show
they
that he
did a
loves.
lot of tribute for him as well. Like they gave him a lot of respect as he walked out. Like, there was no animosity. A lot of guys that say they're leaving don't get matches at WrestleMania.
Yep, it's true.
Right up until the final week at the MSG show, they had a Shield tribute, a tribute to John Moxley. So there was no bridges burnt there at all.
No, they gave him a great send off, man. They treated him first class.
They treated him first class, which so from that perspective, he's not that young chicken that you all should be world champion, like what have you. But I think Punk did the right thing.
He did do the right thing. Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that. He did.
And it shocked everyone. It made people tune in.
Yeah, it did.
Right, and it made people tune in. It'll make people tune in this week. I mean, Moxley cut a promo which had people talking afterwards because my time is now. My time is now. Oh, Cena coming. Is Cena coming to AEW? You know what I mean? Just people start thinking, why is he using these lines? Like he's using lines from Cena's promo. And I thought, well, maybe that'd be interesting. But then the next day, I saw pictures of him and Vince and
The dinner, yeah.
having dinner together in New York for his birthday.
Cena's he's a WWE guy. He's like The Rock. They'll never come on AEW.
Yeah, I thought Jericho was a WWE guy for the rest of his
Yeah,
life
but he's a
too.
little more fickle. You know what I mean? He's been in WCW. He's kind of,
Yeah, well, fair enough. Fair enough.
three guys that you'll never see in AEW: Triple H, John Cena, and The Rock.
Yeah,
Those are the like any probably Shawn Michaels
Roman Reigns,
and Reigns. There's a few certain guys that are like WWE through and through.
Undertaker,
Taker, yeah,
but active roster guys.
yeah.
After active roster guys, who would you say? Roman for sure.
Roman's probably the only one I think anybody else would.
Um,
Speaking of active roster guys, where's Omos?
where's Omos and
Is he
where's
hurt?
I don't know where Omos is. They still don't have anything for him right now. He's
My
a
kid asked me
spectacle.
that this morning on the way to hockey. Where's Omos? I said, oh, good question. Forgot about him.
Well, think about it. There's a couple big men that have been out of action for a while. General Aziz,
I like that guy.
right?
You got to
I
have
mean,
big guys around. This is entertainment, right?
No, Apollo Cruz went back. He lost the Nigerian accent. He lost all of that, and he became Apollo Cruz. He's back at NXT, which I think is good for him. But General Aziz and Omos, there's they're spectacles, though, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. Like, I mean, the way they built Omos up, and the way, oh man, you just got me thinking about something. So there's talk about bringing Braun back,
I seen that. Yeah.
right? So this could be something that could happen at Clash of the Castles. Omos comes out, just like you and Little Reigns were talking about,
Yeah.
the right to hockey. Where's Omos? Almost comes out, I'm disrespected, blah, 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 blah. And then Braun comes out.
I like to see that. Two big giants.
The way they built Omos and the way they built him, not Aziz, but Omos, it's like virtually impossible to beat.
Yeah. He's just too big.
Unless you're a Bobby Lashley who kind of did it, but it was hard.
Like a Bobby, a Roman, or a Brock could do it, but not many.
That's about it, right? And Brock's not there. Roman has no interest in an Omos.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley was the only guy who really took that kind of challenge on. It's kind of like this when Brock came out initially and Batista were out initially. I thought that was a dream match.
Brock and Batista.
Yeah. Right. That's the same kind of feel I have for this match if it ever happens between Braun and Omos.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Something about big guys. It's like heavyweight boxing. The big guys get in there, it's something special,
No, I get it, but unfortunately, in professional wrestling, when you build a character to the strength that you've built him at, you don't have much you can do with him.
That's the thing.
You can't put a title on him, and you can, but it's not worth it because how do you take it off of him?
That's the thing.
Right? When he's having 4-against-1 matches and still winning, what are you supposed to do?
Just keep him as a monster. Just let him beat the crap out of the little guys. Punch him, throw him, kick him.
It almost sucks. I call it the Screech. The Screech disease. Do you know who Screech was?
Dustin Diamond, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. There you go. Do you know anything else he ever did outside of Saved by the Bell?
Yeah, he's a weird dude, man. He had that band.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah, I know that, yeah. He stabbed somebody too, didn't he?
I have no idea, man. Probably. But but that's what I'm saying. He's pigeonholed. All he's ever going to be known for is that character. Nerd. Right? There's nothing he can do that will ever change it.
No.
It's like Pee Wee Herman. The guy who plays Pee Wee Herman, he could do any dramatic role in the world that he wants to, but at the end of the day, he's always going to be known as fucking Pee Wee Herman.
And also what he did in the movie theater.
And that's it, right? But I mean,
he's still alive, Pee Wee Herman, isn't he?
Yeah. Paul, I can't remember his last name.
He keeps a low profile though.
No, he's done a lot of stuff.
He's still doing comedy?
Yeah, he's still doing his thing and all that. I mean, when he got caught for whacking off in the movie theater, I think things were. It was not all about who.
And it was an adult theater too. It wasn't like he was watching Top Gun or something.
No. But I'm saying it happened at a time where you could still whack off at the theater and not get in trouble for it the way you would now.
Yeah, they'd cancel him, man, if you do that now.
He got lucky. He was at the end of that. Hopefully, we haven't sparked the cancel culture. If anyone's listening to it, we should get Pee Wee now.
Those people are savage. They're relentless, man. They got nothing to do with their day.
Get people canceled. You know what? And I got nothing to offer them at any day.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that.
Cancel culture can suck it. Well, I'll
I
say it.
agree. No, I agree with you.
Say it then, man. Cancel culture can
Suck
suck
it.
it. There you go, brother.
The words of the great DX.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I read something really funny today. I want to share that by the end of the show. Okay, here, let's talk about Mr. Russo.
I just want to say one thing before we get into the story.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to listen to his podcast. It's yes, there's a paid one, but there's a free one every Friday morning on YouTube. And if you go into the chat, he answers every question, which I think is really cool because a lot of podcasters wouldn't even give you the time of day and even answer your question. They give a crap. They pick like 10. But if you're on that chat Friday mornings at 8 a.m. West Coast time, you will get a ask him this question, and he's very honest. Love him or hate him, he's honest.
All right. So, Mr.
Let's hear
Chancellor,
it.
since this is your guy, I like him too. Don't get me wrong, but he's more
Yeah,
your guy. Yeah.
yeah.
Why don't you
He's
tell
my
us
guy.
the
Yep.
story? Tell us the story. This is your story to tell,
I
not
guess he dropped on his podcast, which I had no idea. I don't think many people did. He's been consulting for the USA Network about Raw. So that's just funny that he says that because every Friday he says, I only watch Raw because I'm paid to watch Raw. And I always thought he was talking about his paid subscribers for his podcast. No, he's talking about the USA Network. They're paying him like almost $100,000 a year to give his critique on Raw. And they would send a message over to Vinny, hey. 2 years of it, man. Good for him.
Yeah, no, interesting. But here's the only thing I'll add to this, and I'm not trying to diminish the story. It hasn't been backed up yet. Or has it now? At that point, when he released that information, there was no backup from the USA Network or anyone else to say, yeah, this
I don't
is.
think he was supposed to say that. I think he got a little carried away. I don't think he'd make that up because he knows that'll be fact checked. And if he is lying about that, his reputation's screwed.
Yeah. But I know. I just wanted to make sure
No,
because
no,
I
I
mean
agree. Yeah, it hasn't been verified.
that hasn't been verified. But I
Like
mean,
if you make a big claim, like you're working, like if I said I work for CNN, people like, no, you don't. We'll check the book. You know what I mean? Like, so I think it's legit. Or he wouldn't have said it because he knows people hate him and people are going to check on him.
which is an interesting thing because it makes me wonder what Vince was thinking then. Like, he's always never wanted to work with him again and all this. So how much
Did you hear
again?
about the emails they had about 3 months ago? Vince
No.
Russo emailed Vince McMahon. He read it on his podcast on the Friday show.
Okay, tell me about
He
it.
offered Vince McMahon his advice, do this, do that, and basically Vinnie Mac said, "Go jump in the lake."
Right.
Sum it
Okay.
up.
So if he sent him that email and this and that, then didn't Vince know that he's consulting for USA
I
then?
think Vince did know because USA Network would say, "Hey, this guy's saying this, you do that," and obviously everything that Vince Russo said, Vinnie Mac didn't give a crap about. He did what he wanted, but he was hearing about it. He knew about it.
Which I find really interesting. I thought Vince would have more of a say on those kind of things with the network, considering he is the reason they're in existence.
There's so many players now, man. You can only get so much of your own demands, right? Sometimes you got to cave in.
I'm interested
And
in
it
how
wasn't
big the
costing
USA
WWE any
network
money.
is.
USA's paying Russo, so he doesn't care.
Well, I mean, USA is a part of the Peacock network, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it all comes down to NBC.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was an interesting little story. I didn't see that coming. I don't think anybody knew that.
no, that's a brand new story, man. That's a pretty interesting story as
By
well.
the way, one more thing on Vince, that guy's got a real cool record collection. Vince Russo.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool records. He always goes to the thrift stores and picks up, his favorite bands, whatever. It's cool.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, he's at that age where he's lucky enough where he can, get a lot of these really cool kind of he was born at the right time. So were we.
Yeah.
I mean, my vinyl collection isn't superb or monster, but I got a pretty decent vinyl collection.
I don't have any vinyl, man. I just have CDs.
No,
I see it, but I don't even have a vinyl player. So I see some cool records like I'd like to pick up. I don't have a vinyl player. Maybe I should get my hands on one of those.
They're easy. They're pretty cheap.
Oh yeah.
Pretty.
Do you think it sounds better than CD or what?
It all depends on the quality. They did this thing a few years back where they had I don't know which band it was. I think it was like a Zeppelin or a Floyd, something like that, with really, really fine-tuned sound and different types of sounds. You basically had the same song played on a CD and one played on vinyl. And it was kind of like a blind test. So they listened to both tracks and picked which one they thought sounded better. And majority of the people picked the vinyl.
I can see that.
Right. But then
Speaking
again,
of Floyd, isn't your buddy Roger Waters coming to town here pretty soon?
September 15th, my friend.
Wow, that's Thursday.
Roger, yeah. September 15th, few weeks from now.
I seen him, I think, in 2009 or 2010 when he did one of his Dark Side of the Moon tour or something.
Yeah.
The
Uh,
songs are great, the band is great, but the guy's voice live is not great. He never was a great singer. Great songwriter and a genius, but he's not a great singer.
you're trying to
Like
piss me
Bob
off.
Dylan
You
is
want
a
me to come
great
to? You
writer,
want
but
me to
not a
come?
great singer.
You want me to come to the valley and knock on your door and pull you out?
I know this is going to piss off Pink Floyd fans,
You're
but
pissing
if
me
you
off.
gave me, if you gave me a choice on the same night to watch David Gilmour or Roger Waters, I'm going to Gilmour any day of the week. Better
Nope.
guitar and better voice.
No.
I know
Guitar,
Roger's the
yeah.
genius and the brains, but
Guitar, yeah. But I'll always be a Roger Water guy. You can
no,
say
I like
whatever
them
you
too.
want.
Don't get me wrong.
No,
I'm just
no, no,
saying
no, no, no. But if I
Gilmour's a
had
better
to pick
singer.
between, I just say I don't care for David Gilmour. Even though he was a part of Floyd, he was the last edition.
No, I get that. I'm not saying he's an original. I'm not saying Pink Floyd is Roger Waters' baby. I get all that. And Sid Barrett.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, look, I'm not fighting with you. I'm not disagreeing with
No,
you.
I'm just saying.
I'm just trying to say I know what you're saying. I agree with that. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people who agree with it, even as Floyd fans,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, but for me, I'm a part of that team,
Yeah, no, I get it.
right?
Roger Waters is a genius. I'm not taking nothing away from the guy's
And
brilliant.
I've seen the Wall, I've seen Us Against Them, and I will be seeing this show as well. He's never disappointed.
No, I've
Just
seen him live. He's great
energy.
live. It's just
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just don't find his singing that great.
Eh, Matter of opinion, I guess,
Like
right?
I listen to some of his solo albums and I think they're duds.
Yeah, well, I'm not a big fan of his solo
Like
work.
I listen
You
to
know, like
Hitchhike, the pros and cons of hitchhiking. Like it's just him talking and I don't know.
an acquired taste. It's kind of
Yeah,
like
but Pink Floyd is
listening.
great and he's a genius. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm not getting you wrong at all, man. I mean, if I had to pick between the two, and I've met David Gilmour as well.
But did he? How's he like?
He's nice. I have nothing against the man, but I think I don't know
Have you
how
heard
it
his
was.
couple of his last solo albums? They're really, really good.
See, I never did. I never because I just
That guitar and that voice, so
yeah.
smooth.
No, the guitar's amazing and his voice is nice too. But like I said, I don't know why. I respect David Gilmour. I enjoy him. I know what he contributed.
It's like the Liam Gallagher was Noel Gallagher. Some guys like Liam better, some like Noel solo, right? It's totally
I
flavor.
totally. And on that front, I'm a fan of both. I like both solo careers and
Yeah, me too.
together, right? So I mean, um, when I met David Gilmour, it was at the Division Bell tour
So
in
94.
1994. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to incriminate myself here, but I don't think any of those people will be listening to our show. I got hired to work security
Well, nice.
for the show. I was a friend of mine. His dad was one of the main guys at BC Place at the time, a corporate guy, and
Yeah.
he offered me and his son uh, to work the show security wise as part of BC Place security, not the outside security or the third party security. So the first night of the show, I was basically stationed backstage, like literally backstage at where they enter from and everything.
Oh, that's
My
cool.
spot was there for that night. And that show had no opening band, it had an intermission. So during the intermission, Gilmore comes out to the back and he's kind of just standing there, having his drink or whatever. And I walked up to him and I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, Mr. Gilmore." "Yes, Mr. Gilmore. I'm a big fan. I've been a fan for as long as I can remember. And, it's a pleasure to meet you." And then he asked me the question. He goes, "Oh, yeah. What's your favorite album?"
I know where he's going with that. I like that.
Right. "Oh, yeah. What's your favorite album?" I said, "To be fair, you weren't a part of the band, Relics."
What do you say?
He goes, "Oh, nice one, nice one." And then he laughed. And then we shook hands and he went his way. And then I
He
went back
probably
to my
appreciated your honesty. Most guys
well,
would have been like Division Bell or something like that.
no, man, Relics was the album for me. I mean, that's what made me a Floyd fan. It wasn't Dark Side of the Moon, it wasn't The Wall, and all those albums had already come out before I ever became a Floyd fan. Right. So I mean it was Relics. I listened to Pink Floyd Relics for the first time and I listened to him from cover to cover and I fell in love with it. And ironically enough, it was on vinyl when I listened to it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. So I
Speaking of
listened.
Floyd, I think that Nick Mason guy is coming here too.
Yeah, he's coming as well. So I mean, I wish there could be one more Floyd with everyone, but I
They
mean,
could, but when Roger Waters he's a real jerk and he's got a huge ego. You hear the way the guy talks in interviews. He's not the nicest dude.
well, he's one of those kind of
Perfectionist.
perfectionist, but then again, he's one of those environmentalists, human rights activists and whatnot. And I respect all that, right? But
He's
I
a hard
mean,
guy to get along with, man.
he's
It
kind of
seems to
like,
be.
well, I've never met him. I can only base everything I know about him on his music and the interviews about his music. I couldn't tell you who the man is. I can
Yeah.
tell you who Bono is as a man, and I can tell you who, other Liam and Noel Gallagher are as men, but I couldn't tell you that about Roger Waters. I'll be
The
honest, man.
last time you're gonna see those guys on a stage is at Live 8 or whatever. There, that's probably it.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
The way it goes.
an interesting little note here. So AEW All Out, which is one of their big shows, in their favorite place, Chicago. That seems to be the only place they run pay-per-views. They only sold 8,000 tickets for the show so far.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's this weekend.
Oh yeah, that's on the Sunday. Wow.
So I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't know
What's
if
the
you want
main
to add
event
any.
for that?
I don't know
That's
yet.
what I mean.
I don't.
The
I
honeymoon
don't
phase is
know.
over now.
I don't know what the main event for that is because I mean Mox is champion, but he has no feud with anybody. So who does he defend against?
I have no idea. I guess
Maybe
we'll
you
find out
find out.
tomorrow.
And I think that's the big problem with AEW right now, in my opinion. It's just like they don't have any continuity with anything because they just have too many people,
It's all over the place.
right? And I've been reading reports of talent, getting disgruntled now and are upset with their standings and their status because they got so many different things going. It almost feels like some of these guys and girls have to wait around 3-4 months before they can get a storyline going.
Yeah, I'm looking at the card right now. I see Jericho versus Daniel Bryan.
Oh yeah, that's happening. Yes.
I see Eddie Kingston. I mean, Wardlow. Yeah, it's not a great card, man. There's nothing about Moxley yet.
Well, you got Wardlow
Jungle
against.
Boy and Christian.
That's going to be okay. That's the one match I know. Those are the two matches that I know. Yes.
Ricky Starks versus Hobbs.
Ricky Starks is the guy for. Yeah, I can see. Okay, that's yeah, okay.
Jade Cargill versus Athena.
You know who Athena is?
No, never seen
Ember
her.
Moon.
Oh, is that Ember Moon? Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like a very strong card so far. Maybe after Dynamite they'll.
Well, they got a week to boost this motherfucker up because right now you got 3 matches going into like I don't know if it's your biggest show of the year, but All Out it seems to be one of their bigger shows, right?
Supposed to be one of the top 4, isn't it? One of their big 4.
Well, they only have
Double
like
or Nothing.
Double or Nothing.
All Out.
All Out. God, we really got to brush up on our AEW here, bro.
I don't even know what they consider their big 4.
Yeah, I don't know, but they only run 4, 5, 6 shows a year.
Yeah, they don't do a monthly pay-per-view.
No, they do bi-monthly, if not every 3 months.
Can you even watch Rampage in Canada?
Rampage in Canada. You know what? I don't think so.
I don't think you can because I was looking for it on Friday when Smackdown.
It'd be on TSN. It would be on TSN.
It's on TSN.
It would have to be on TSN if they're covering. If they got Dynamite, they have to have Rampage.
Okay.
But I've never looked because I got USA or I got TNT and everything, right? Yeah. So
yeah.
I kind of have the luxury of seeing it from the actual feed. But if it would be in Canada, it'd be Rampage or it'd be TSN.
Okay.
You got a top 5?
I do. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's hear Bobby Sampson's top 5 European wrestlers of all time. Your favorite?
Oh God, you're doing this, huh? All right.
Since we're having a pay-per-view in Europe.
Okay, Dynamite Kid.
Okay.
We're talking wrestler, right? Not brawler.
Yeah. Anything.
Yeah. Okay. So Dynamite Kid would probably be one of them. William Regal's right there with him. That's 2. Paige.
Okay, 3.
For the females, she was solid. I'll say Sheamus because he stayed around for so long, man. He's been around for a while.
Yes, yeah.
And he's accomplished a lot, and he's reinvented himself, and he stayed relevant. So I'd have to throw Sheamus in there, and I'm torn now, man, because you know what? I'm gonna say it. Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
Currently, right now, those are probably my favorites. Yeah.
It's a good list.
Retired and not retired. But that being said, you know what? I mean, Finn Balor should be in there somewhere.
Finn Balor's good.
Right?
What about your boy Fit Finlay?
Fit Finlay again, but he was more of a brawler. He's more European hard style. And I mean, he did a lot of work with the female wrestlers in terms of coaching and whatnot. I think he was just a mid-carder for the most part.
What about your boy Drew?
Drew McIntyre, again, he's a good worker and whatnot, but when I'm looking
Yep.
at just skills and everything and accomplishments, I mean, these guys have fought all over Europe. They've done their time in Japan as well.
Yep.
I don't know if Drew has. I have nothing against Drew. Like I said, this list could go so many different ways. I mean, I'm trying to think of
You're forgetting one guy, and he's the greatest most popular European wrestler of all time. The biggest
I'm
and baddest.
the biggest and baddest European wrestler of all time, eh? Okay, tell me.
Andre the Giant.
Oh, yes, he's from Chernobyl, the French Alps. My
Yeah.
goodness. Oh, shit. Forgot about Andre.
Technically, Bruno Sammartino's European wrester. I think it was New York
Well,
guy,
he
but
was born
technically
in
from Europe.
Italy, right? He was born
Yeah.
in Italy as well. There's so
But
many
it's
guys,
hard,
right?
man. It's hard.
Right? I mean, if we're talking
So
about
many good
active
ones.
guys and if we're talking top five of all time, you know what? I would throw Steve Speed and fucking Big Daddy in there too.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know if you ever heard of those guys, but
I
back
have.
in
I
the
don't really
day,
know much of their work, but a British
so
Bulldog too.
yeah, the British Bulldog as well, you could throw in there, right? I mean, it's just where does it end?
Cesaro.
Cesaro, again, he's from Switzerland. I mean, yeah, Cesaro is a part of that crew as well. I mean, there's so many solid European wrestlers.
Mm,
Gunther,
absolutely.
Gunther,
Who?
Gunther.
Oh, Gunther. Yeah.
I mean, he's
Bathroom
German.
break. Yeah.
He's German,
Yep.
right?
What about
Who's that?
Ludwig Borga?
He was
Remember him?
American, bro. From North Carolina.
Oh, is he?
Oh, all those Russian guys were American. Nikita Koloff. He
Yeah,
was
I knew
he was in
I knew
it,
that he was. Yeah.
right? I mean, a lot of those guys who were Russian were never been to the country in their life. Maybe Nikolai was Russian. I don't know,
Not sure.
but the rest of them, most of them, Ivan Koloff, Nikolai, Ivan Koloff, Nikita Koloff, they were American guys. It was Kamala, was from Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, Kamala.
Yeah,
No, Kamala was awesome.
he was not from Uganda.
No, yeah, he played it well. Just like how they said Yokozuna was Japanese. He's not.
No, man. I mean, at the time, I thought he was Japanese when I was a
I didn't
little
know. I had
kid.
no
I didn't
idea
know any
until after he
different,
passed
right?
away.
No, 100%. Chance, I think we have a pretty solid show here, brother. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm proud. It was a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. So on that note, my friends, we're gonna let you go for the evening. Again, thank you very much for listening. If you've listened this far, I appreciate it. Means the world to us. Some cool stuff's coming up next week. I'll
Two
drop a little.
pay-per-views, AEW and WWE.
Yeah, you got two pay-per-views, but I'm talking about Samp&Chance. We got some cool stuff coming up next week, which I will tell you all about on Instagram. So make sure to check out your Instagram or your TikTok accounts for those announcements. We'll be making them this weekend. It's pertaining to an interview that we're going to be having next week. So yeah, I'm going to keep that a little under wraps right now until we finalized everything, but I'm 99.9.9.9% sure it's going to happen. So
Nice.
once I finalize those details with Mr. Michaels here, we will share that information. So that all being said, we are going into a long weekend. We will hopefully try to do a show on Thursday for you guys to kind of get a boxing show out of the way.
Well, we got
If,
the big box. I guess it's a fairly big heavyweight match.
yeah, absolutely. So
Your
we'll talk
boy
about that.
Ruiz versus Ortiz.
Oh, why not my boy Ortiz? You know what? I'm gonna go Ortiz on that one, but we'll talk about that on Thursday. All that being said, everyone, thank you so much. Enjoy the wonderful weather while it lasts. I am Bobby
Yes.
Sampson, joined by Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great ACDC, those who download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you. And in the words of Ed Whalen, and I will be at the Hollowed Grounds in a couple weeks to witness the show there put on by Can-Am Wrestling at the Pavilion at Stampede Park. In the meantime and in between time, that's it for Samp&Chance. Everybody have a great evening. We will talk to you soon. Good night.